Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology company that specializes in consumer electronics, software, and online services. Apple is the largest information technology company by revenue, totaling $365.8 billion in 2021, and, as of January 2022, it is the world's most valuable company, the fourth largest personal computer vendor by unit sales, and second largest mobile phone manufacturer. It is one of the big five American information technology companies, alongside Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. Apple was founded as Apple Computer Company on April 1, 1976, by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne, to develop and sell Wozniak's Apple personal computer. But, do you know Apple was once on the verge of bankruptcy? It just had 90 days to either make it or break it. So how once near bankrupted company has now become world's most valuable company? Let's unveil the story. Back in February 1996, Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy. That was when Apple decided to acquire Next Computers, and to finally bring back Steve Jobs after over a decade. In the absence of Steve, Apple had launched numerous computers, which might have increased the revenues of Apple, but they also created a chaos. When Apple co-founder Steve Jobs returned to the company, in July 1997, it marked the beginning of Apple's resurrection. After 12 years of financial loss, Gil Amelio was ousted from the CEO position. Jobs took the interim position, and was tasked with major restructuring. Steve was a firm believer of the fact that what not to do is as important as what to do. Therefore, he believed in the power of saying no to many things, and then bringing something nearly perfect. So the first thing Steve did was bring down the production to just 4 variants. The decisions was to nix the Newton, a project that sucked $100 million out of the dying company, even though it was a product ahead of its time. Second thing Steve did surprised the world, as he partnered with its biggest competitor, Microsoft, in 1997. The Apple-Microsoft deal was revealed at the '97 Macworld Expo. Gates and Jobs announced a 5-year contract that would release an updated Mac version of Microsoft Office. Microsoft bought Apple's non-voting shares, worth $150 million, and Apple made Internet Explorer the default browser on Macintosh. But Bill Gates didn't do this out of empathy, but to save himself and his company from the charges of creating a monopoly, since Microsoft has a 90% market share back then. So, funding Apple was best thing he could do to earn a reputation in the market. Jobs humbly explained to the audience,
"We're shepherding some of the greatest assets in the computer industry. And if we want to move forward and see Apple healthy and prospering again, we have to let go of a few things here. We have to let go of this notion that for Apple to win, Microsoft has to lose." Okay?
Despite all this, Apple was still struggling, and they needed a good product to turn things around. The iMac, introduced in 1998, became the solution. The unique design, which resembled the Macintosh, was created by Jonathan Ive, designer of now iconic Apple technology, the iPod, and the iPhone. Ive reinvented the boring beige box, and for the first time, you could actually see a computer's guts. The all-in-one iMac sold nearly 800,000 units within its first 5 months. For the first time since 1995, Apple returned to profitability. According to FundingUniverse.com, the company turned a profit of $309 million in 1998. By the end of 1999, their sales grew 3.2%, and profits doubled to $601 million, a 94% increase from the year prior. Apple continued its resurgence, seeing healthier profits, and thus healthier stock prices. Having successfully gotten Apple back on track, in 2000, Jobs was able to drop, interim, from his CEO title, and earned himself a permanent position. Apple announced a new strategy for tackling the Internet, at the 2000 Macworld Expo. They unveiled iTools, Mac-only Internet applications. They also announced Earthlink as their recommended ISP. Later that year, Apple released new machines including the G4 Cube, a risky move that was an ultimate failure. This release marked the beginning of a tough few months for the rebounding company. Their third quarter was its first unprofitable one since Jobs' return. While the tech industry was seeing an overall downturn, some poor decisions by Apple aided their unprofitable quarter. Another factor was their decision to have DVD-ROM drives in their computers instead of CDRWs, which prevented users from being able to burn CDs. In an attempt to right their wrongs, Apple cut prices on their PowerMac products. On May 15, 2001, Jobs unveiled the first Apple Store. They were such a hit that he later remarked, "We had 26 million visitors during the holiday quarter in retail stores. I mean, think about it. This is more people than that live in any state in our union besides California." The Apple Store was a brilliant solution to a problem Apple was having. Other retailers weren't giving Apple products proper shelf life and space. Apple was able to create a real consumer experience in their stores and give their products the displays they deserved. A few months later, Jobs announced their next big hit, the iPod. The portable music player went from concept to market in just about 8 months. The iPod undoubtedly changed the music industry, but iTunes, which was also introduced in 2001, was Apple's true genius. iTunes broke music industry standards and helped the major labels including Universal and Warner fight piracy. With multiple product hits, Apple's comeback was in full swing. Each product launch became highly anticipated events by media and the public alike. The company proved with the iPod that they could execute ideas quickly and successfully dominate other hardwares besides computers. In 2006, Apple passed Dell's market cap. Apple put the Intel deal into action with the release of its 2006 MacBook Pro and iMac, both using Intel's Core Duo chip technology, which made the system significantly faster. In 2018, Apple became the first company to surpass $1 trillion valuation. As of 2020, Apple generated a whopping revenue of $274.3 billion. It is also the world's most valuable company and most valuable brand. Steve had very clear approach: sell dreams, not products. Customers, first and foremost, care about themselves, and if you help them find out what it is they want, they will latch onto your brand. Jobs doesn't use focus groups or wait for people to make demands. Instead, he released must-have products before people even know they will want it. What did you learn from the story of Apple's bankruptcy? Let us know in comments below. If you found this video helpful, do hit a like and subscribe our channel. Do hit the bell icon to stay tuned for further updates.